Okay, we're doing an outline with me kind of day so we can start writing this book tomorrow. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Nellie and I am an indie author of My camera died while we were filming that clip. So today we are going to be outlining one of my next books. So I'm so excited for it. We have started the outline. I actually don't know how many chapters of the outline we have yet, but basically we're doing novel 3 of the Catcher series, so it's installment 5. So novel 1 came out September, novel 1 came out September, oh wow, I need to get better at doing this. This is my series. Novel 1 came out in September, novella 1 came out in October. Novel 2 is set to come out in February, and that we are doing another round of edits next week, and then it's going off to its copy editor, so we're very close to that one. Ooh, and we got a pre-order for that one yesterday, so that's exciting. That's the first pre-order. And then I'm gonna start the ARC reader sign up for that in like a week or two. And then novella 2 is coming out in March. We only have one draft of that, and it's not a very good draft. So where is, did I not save it? Fuck. I might kill someone if I threw this out. Oh, okay, good, it's right there. Oh shit, I almost deleted the outline I already had for novel 3. I was gonna kill myself. So novella 2 I am starting edits on in like 3-ish weeks. So yeah, that one's stressing me out because I have to have that to copy editor by mid-February. No, like early February, because it's gonna come back to me mid-February. So I only have 2 months to go through all the edits, betas, more edits, giving it time in between draft 1 and draft 2, because I need the most time in between those 2 drafts to like really get my head around where the story is. Because like draft 1 is like I'm putting down the story, but then I need time now that I have the story put down, what's actually going to be happening, you know? So then we're on novel 3, and then we'll have novella 3. Novella 3 is probably one of the ones I'm most excited for, so there's that. But because it's a first draft, I don't know how many chapters it's gonna be, so I just estimated it around 30 to 35, because novel 1 was 37 chapters, I believe, the first draft, and novel 2 was like 33, 35, somewhere around there. So I'm just putting it at 30. If there's more, there's more. Currently, we have the prologue and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half-ish. So including the prologue, it's like 31-ish chapters. So about 6.5-ish of them. Yeah, 6.5 kind of outlined. So the goal is to finish outlining the rest of it. I don't have a concrete idea of what the plot arc is. Like, I do have a semi idea, but it's not concrete, so it makes it a bit harder. Oh, and also my first drafts, the outlines don't have to be like exact. Like, there are gonna be parts where I don't have a scene written, and then when I'm writing the draft, I'll like add a scene because I'm like, oh, this can be added here. Or there will be parts where I'll just skip over because I'm like, I don't really know. And then while I'm writing, sometimes it'll come to me and like I'll add it to the outline so that when I get to that chapter, I can write it. So it doesn't have to be a completely finished outline. It just has to be something. Okay, I've added, I don't actually know, I think like maybe 9 or 10 chapters or so. That plotline thing that I was like, not too sure about. I'm still not too sure about. We're working towards it, but I'm not clear. It has been going well though. I've been sitting here for like close to half an hour, and it's been going very well. There's definitely gonna be like stuff to fill in later, but I feel like that'll be more once I have an outline and I kind of know where this plotline's going, but also once I start writing it and I like, because I already know the characters because I've been with them for multiple books, but like once I get a feeling for these characters being the main characters, you know, and like how their story's gonna expand. Okay, I'm like another 5-ish more chapters through or so. I'm not convinced on this plotline because it feels like, because the other two had a lot more action to it, and the plotline for this I always knew was like gonna be very actiony, but I feel like I need something. It's kind of like how A Court of Silver Flames was a lot less actiony, it was a lot more internal than the ACOTAR series. That's kind of how this one feels. And while that's not a bad thing, I don't know, it might be different when I'm actually writing it, but right now, like in this outline, I can't tell like how exciting it's gonna be and how things are gonna like really play out because it's not a very actiony plot. Although I'm still sick, by the way, so that's why my nose is clogged. That's why I'm kind of talking a little slow because like I have to like stop and take a breath every time because my nose is gone. Um, Although I have a possible plan for what could be like the climaxy part. I just thought of something else that could kind of be it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. This might be something that like comes with the breakthrough with writing it. But I need an outline in order to write. Like I can't freehand write because although that might work for maybe 1 or 2 scenes, for me to know where I'm kind of trying to go to, I need to like have a bullet pointed idea of what the outline's gonna be. If you're wondering, let's see, try not to read that. If you're wondering, that's what my outline looks like. And then down here is where the chapters aren't written yet. It is many an hour later. It's 3:53 right now. I spent like a little bit of time putting up some decorations with my roommates. We don't have our tree yet, but we're getting it in a few days, and I'm so excited. Also, this has nothing to do with this, but I got some orders for Desiring Darkness, which is, it was exciting to see because it was like a good amount all at once. But then I was like, have all of these people read Alluring, Beholding, and Claiming? Because I feel like the number, I don't know. I'm not complaining. Anyway, we are back to working on this outline. I have decided that we're just gonna go with how this outline is going, and if it doesn't seem good enough, then I'm gonna just allow it to flow that way for the first draft to see like while I'm writing if something better comes up, because it could just be that it doesn't seem as dramatic in an outline, but then when I'm actually writing I'm like, okay, no, this is good. So I don't know, we're just gonna see, we're gonna figure it out. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time. I only need outline like 10-ish more chapters ish, again if we're going to around 30 chapters, maybe like 12 because I skipped a couple chapters earlier on. So we'll see how this goes. I'm nervous because this is a final, but it's not a final installment though, because there's still going to be novella 3, but it's a final novel, and the plotline continues on. So like when I say the plot is like not as dramatic in this one, it makes it sound like it's not continuing on. You still have to read the first 2 books. Kind of. Also, you kind of don't in this one because the plotline is mentioned in all of the installments. But as of right now, it doesn't have a direct connection to the plot of 1 and 2. So, like, it's more you have to read. Because even in Ice, which is novel 2, the plot line is connected. It's definitely connected, but it's like lightly connected in the sense that technically you could get away with reading just Ice by itself. But, and I know this because I've asked beta readers, and I actually had beta readers say, no, you have to read the first one. I had beta readers say, you don't have to read it. Although the one that said you don't have to read it, she was making all sorts of comments that I was like, that's in book 1. That's in book 1. So I think in terms of like world-wise, you do have to read them in order. But plot-wise, technically, you could get away with not reading them in order. Or like just reading one of them. But I feel like this one is going to be the most you could get away with. But in terms of character and world, you're going to kind of have read the original ones because you meet all these characters earlier on. There's things about them that you like learn earlier on that like obviously I'll be reminding you and hinting back, but it's not the same. And it's going to be like, especially for the world, like it's going to be things that you don't necessarily have to mention it again because if you had read the series, you would know. I don't know how to explain it. Because, like, obviously in every book you want to do, like, small hits of reminders in case it's been a while. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't really know because I don't have the first draft of this done how I'm going to really connect. Like, the plotline is connected. The plotline is even connected to novel 1. But I think it's just I'm worrying too much. I keep doing this for draft 1s, and I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm worrying too much on draft 1, where draft 1 is never good for me. You know, it's always draft 2 that actually makes it a story. Draft 1 is just getting something on paper. Especially because I'm an underwriter, so I always like double, maybe even more than double my word count. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, anyway, long-winded way of saying I'm not 100% sold on this plotline. Because I feel like something is missing, and I spent hours away from it in order to like see if I could figure that out, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna continue this plotline, and then either while I'm doing draft 1 or in the next draft, figure it out. Okay, it's actually not funny how unsure of this I am. I got down to finish it. I've wrote a scene for the last chapter. It's not the epilogue, but it's the last chapter. But 1, 2, 3, 4, the 8 scenes before that, I have no idea. And I think I'm not gonna have any idea until I actually get to writing this and get an idea. Because I actually think this would happen in the first book too, is because I wrote the first book in parts. I wrote like the first third or the first half of it in like one NaNoWriMo camp and then the other one in the other camp. So I feel like, because like I didn't have like a full story back then, I feel like that's what this is going to be too. I don't really have the full story, but I think as we get into it, I'll get better at it. Hopefully. I did start a timeline though. So I now know when the timeline for the final novella also starts. And I also know when it ends because it's going to end at the same time as novel 3 ends. So we got some things there. It's giving me trouble. I am going to give it more time today. I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to figure it out today. Like, I genuinely think this is going to be a figure it out as we go type of thing and let the story blossom. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I don't know. And it's stressing me out. Okay. This has nothing to do with this outline, but I'm still putting it in here. It doesn't matter. So, the Whittle Magic series has 4 books. It's done. It's completed. That series is done. But currently has 3 spinoffs in my head. One of which I definitely plan on doing. It's a novella-ish. In my head, it's a novella. It should be coming out next year. Another one is a standalone. It'll come out at some point, you know. I'm not rushing that. I don't really have a plot line for it. I just know who one of the characters is, which is why it's a spinoff. And yeah, I just got out of that bath and it's like still warm, so my breath is coming. The other one is, he's a pretty prominent character in the Whittle Magic series. Is a spinoff for him. And if you read Desiring, you know how it ends, and it's kind of like a leading to that spinoff. In the sense that, like, I'm not writing it now. I don't plan on writing it in the next few months at all or anything like that. But if I wanted to write a spinoff, I could write it. That's the way it's kind of led off. And for that one, I had 2, like, the way Whittle Magic follows 3 couples. One main couple, but there's like 3 couples. It follows the Whittle sisters. So Vera, Maya, and Camila. The main couple being Maya, but Vera and Camila are still, you know, they're still couples. I didn't do Vera's coupling as much justice as I feel like I could have. And that's just on being like growing as a writer. Which, funnily enough, going into writing this series for the first time, I wanted Vera to be my main person. Even though knowing I was gonna like Maya and Hunter the most. And it'd go writing and then drop the one. Didn't even turn out like that. So, all that to say, this spinoff was gonna follow, it was gonna be like the same dynamic in like following multiple couples, but it was gonna follow 2 couples instead of 3. And like I kind of knew the relations to each other. Like, I know who the 2 guys are. I know who the 2 girls technically are, but like I don't know who they are yet. But essentially I knew like those 2 couples, and I kind of had an idea of what the plotline was gonna be, and I still have that idea of what the plotline is gonna be, at least for book 1. And that one in my head was a duology. But right now in the bath, I was just randomly thinking about it real quick, and it like literally happened within like 30 seconds of thinking about it. I was like, I could add this other guy in as a minor couple, so I'll be following 3 couples again technically, even though this third one is going to be minor. My problem with saying that is the same way I said Vera was going to be my main in the Whittle Magic, is I'm scared that that's going to get pushed aside. It's not going to be minor. So, especially because I'm like excited about it. When I'm excited about it, it's like, it's harder to stick to the plan. But I definitely want this one to be a minor couple, meaning like the focus isn't as drastically on them. Saying all this, I don't plan on writing that book for like probably another year, or at the very least, actually, we're manifesting that the Whittle Magic series, the entire series, which means Desiring, also will make its money back. So Desiring will make its own money back. So we're manifesting that already. So that's already in the air. So at least for another year, I'm not even going to be writing this. But I'm just saying. I'm just documenting it somewhere. But yeah, this has nothing to do with novel 3 of the Catcher series. But I was just excited, and this is what I'm filming today. So yeah.